Hello and thank you very much for joining me on Frankly Speaking K Kavitha, MLC in the Telangana Assembly. Also, Chief Minister K.C. Rao's daughter K Kavitha joins me on Frankly Speaking. I want to ask you and congratulate you. You've been a huge proponent of the Women's Reservation Bill, and today it has been passed by both houses of parliament, and it took 27 years, and it is the 75th year of this country when women finally get their rights. Kavitha, do you think this could have happened earlier?
It should have happened earlier, but nevertheless, we should congratulate each other, and I congratulate the nation's women and men alike through you, Navika ji. Because when I see you, when I see women like you and me, empowered, lucky to be in the place where we are. Of course, we did fight and put up our did of fight. But yet, many such women who are probably more talented than you and me out there, who were denied the opportunity to speak, to enter into the parliaments, into assemblies, etc. So I believe 75 years, we did keep them out from these august houses. It is time. Unfortunately, looks like we have to wait for 5 more years with the kind of draft the bill we have seen. But better late than never. Happy that the bill is getting passed. But unfortunately, ma'am, without including the OBC women quota, I feel like the bill is missing its soul. That's a major lacuna that this government could have bought it because of the majority that it enjoys. And we could have literally given justice to almost 40% BCs are there in states like Telangana. They could have got major benefit out of this.
But Ms. K. Kavitha, the fact is that even earlier on several attempts when this bill was tried to be pushed into Parliament, the question of OBCs never arose at that time. In fact, at that time, Congress President Sonia Gandhi was seen to be stating that who stops anybody from giving OBCs also their due from within the reservation of the women? Why is there necessity of another quota within a quota? That's what she said then. And today, the India alliance has completely changed its stance, and you almost are echoing the same sentiments.
India alliance and Congress party's hypocrisy is exposed time and again. In fact, yesterday, as you rightly mentioned, Navika ji, I was listening to Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji speak in Parliament about how 90 important secretaries of Government of India who make major decisions, only 3 are OBC. Did they become secretaries yesterday? Did the Congress party have nothing to do in the appointments, in the selection, etc.? So whatever the legacy, whatever the failures of the Congress party, which ruled this nation for the longest of the time, they want to transfer it to whoever is in power now. I'm not saying whoever is in power now have done their bit. They could have done the OBC component. But then when you look at the way Congress flips, why did the bill even get stalled in 2010? Because OBC component was not included, the bill got stalled. They could have done it. They could have agreed to OBC component then and could have passed the bill in 2010 itself. They did not do it then. And yesterday, both Sonia ji, Rahul ji and the entire Congress party is now asking this government to do the OBC because elections are here. They come to our states, which is a poll-bound state. They talk about BCs. So there is so much of love on OBC right now because it's election season for the Congress party. But they could not do it. They did not do it, in fact, when they could have done it. And as you rightly mentioned, in the last 16 years, they did not even mention about the Mahila bill once. So much so, they were so careless that in last manifesto, they did not even mention the Women's Reservation Bill. Now suddenly, from September 18th, 19th, 20th, if you should look at the Congress party Twitter handle, all love for women, continuously talking about Women's Reservation Bill. So everybody is like, suddenly what has happened? When the government is bringing the bill, suddenly they're remembering what they did for women, etc., etc. But nation is seeing through their hypocrisy. But this government, which is in power now, the Bharatiya Janata Party, they've really lost a historic opportunity, Navika ji. They could have included the OBC component. And yes, as Sonia ji said, nobody is stopping any party from giving opportunity to OBCs, SCs, STs. But without reservation, does any party do it? My party won't give, Congress party won't give, Bharatiya Janata Party won't give. It's a history we've seen in 75 years, and we should learn something from the 75 years of political history of this country, and that is precisely why we are demanding a quota within quota, and we still have time. This government should reconsider their decision and include OBC women as a part of the bill. For that, of course, they'll have to pass the BC bill separately. And my party, I'm very proud, Navika ji, in the last 10 years, from the very first assembly session after our state formation, which was a very sentimental session, we made a resolution for both 33% women reservation and 33% OBC reservation to be made for both parliament and assemblies.
Very well said, Kavitha ji, but the fact of the matter is it's election season for you as well, because in the 2018 elections, you fielded 119 candidates, only 4 were women. So sudden realization that women need to be given, their rights comes in 2023 when elections are going to happen in Telangana, and Lok Sabha elections are around the corner, because last time as well there were 2 candidates for Lok Sabha, and you were the only woman candidate, and you happened to be the Chief Minister's daughter. Not really one of the women, many would say, who could benefit from the reservation.
Absolutely, you are very right. And our party could not accommodate women, which again is not something new. I never said BRS has dropped from the sky or the heavens. BRS also is a party which came out of the patriarchal system of our country. That is precisely why we are demanding for quota. But we are not demanding quota just around the corner, when we have elections. We introduced a resolution in our assembly in 2014, not now, 10 years back. And ma'am, I just want to remind you, Navika ji, that this Bharatiya Janata Party government, both in 2014, they said they'll introduce the Women's Reservation Bill in their manifesto. In 2019, again, they reiterated their promise. But for 9.5 years, they did not bother to even talk about the bill. It is only when the BRS increased the pressure, Congress, CWC was held at Hyderabad, when our Honorable Chief Minister wrote a letter to Honorable Prime Minister ji, then CWC had to forcibly make a resolution on women's bill. Now, when the principal opposition party made a resolution, many parties who attended the dharna that we staged in March of this year, I believe the BJP also realized that it is time now we should introduce it. But ma'am, if you look at the way the bill is introduced, the enigma around it, not sharing the details, not taking any parties into confidence, introducing the bill first, then later saying that, this cannot be enforced now, it will only get into force post 2024, elections and after the census, and tying it to delimitation. So when you look at this process, it looks like BJP is making an insincere effort. So that is what we should all, you and I, you as a prominent journalist, we as opposition political parties should be pressurizing the government to do.
Well, that's fair, but would you actually congratulate the Prime Minister that yesterday in Lok Sabha, 454 people voted for the bill and only 2 against the bill. And these 454 members of parliament who voted for the bill included the Samajwadi Party, which, when in alliance with the Congress in the UPA, refused to do so, so much so that the Congress did not even bring the bill in Lok Sabha after getting it passed in Rajya Sabha in 2010. At least this time around, the Prime Minister has managed to get cross-party support, except, of course, your friends in the Telangana Assembly, the AIMIM.
Ma'am, SP, RLD, the parties who opposed this bill in 2010, we invited them to our dharna in March and we requested them. That was a time when nobody in the country was talking about Women's Reservation Bill. That is when we invited them, we requested them. We said, okay, you are talking about quota within quota, but do not fundamentally oppose the Women's Bill because of quota within quota. Come to our dharna, express the same views. So they did. And all the political parties started giving out letters, talking about it openly. That is why yesterday in Parliament, you saw that kind of majority, the activism that various parties took upon themselves. Many parties held rallies again separately also. So yes, I would like to congratulate Modi ji, but here, because he did not, or I don't know why he chose not to include the OBC component. I'm not able to congratulate him heartfully. As I said, ma'am, without the OBC women getting their due share, this bill lacks the soul. As in your previous question, you said, I was one of the MPs from Telangana. I am a CM's daughter. Well, I am privileged to get it, but probably you don't know my background. I am also from a movement background. That apart, you are very right. Whenever a general seats are there, relatives, wives, daughters, sisters of prominent politicians get the space. That is precisely why we are demanding OBC reservation should be there, so that the women from the backward class also get a due allocated share, a constitutionally protected share. And when Modi ji said, शायद मुझे इस पुण्य कार्य के लिए चुना है, तो ओबीसी महिलाओं को ऐसा ना लगे मैम कि गलत आदमी चुना गया है, अदरवाइज हमें वो इंक्लूड करते इस बिल में, क्योंकि किसी को पीछे छोड़ के देश आगे कैसे जाएगी. तो ये बात मोदी जी को सोचना चाहिए. बट अदरवाइज यस, दिस इज अ वेरी गुड स्टेप फॉर द women of this nation. I will congratulate Modi ji for that.
Kavitha ji, speaking frankly, since we are on frankly speaking, I want to ask you, आपकी अपनी पार्टी है, आपकी फैमिली पार्टी चलाती है, आप कह रहे हैं रिजर्वेशन करके दीजिए. You are asking for reservation when you can have a constitution of your party which can enable women to come forward and set an example in India. Why is that opportunity that way not open for you? Why do you only expect somebody else who's sitting in the center running a government to do it? If small baby steps have to be made, just like you say you made them in March through the rally and the dharna that you did, why can't these baby steps be made by the BRS itself? Because it is a family-run party. You can convince your father and put it in the constitution of your own party.
Ma'am, you are a senior journalist. You understand how political parties function. They need to work with how society thinks and what society does. India as a nation has always had this history of keeping women on the back burner. In the last 75 years, you've seen, ma'am, after the independence movement, women of this country really expected that they don't need reservations. But then that hopes and that dreams got shattered, and within 30 years, women started demanding for the quota. And you do know and understand very well that India is a federal setup, and until and unless a constitutional guarantee mandates every state to follow a particular rule, the participation of women will be very unequal. As you rightly said, certain chief ministers took initiative. Mamta ji took initiative. Navin Patnaik ji took initiative. When Madam Jayalalitha was alive, she took initiative. They gave seats of more than 33%. In fact, I think TMC currently has 43% women. But what about grand old parties like Congress? What about grand old party like BJP? So is my party BRS. They're not different, and BRS average seats of women is not higher or lesser than BJP or Congress or any other, 95% of parties in this nation. That is precisely why we demanded, because it is just not for Telangana women. The bill will make difference in lives of women across the nation. So that was the demand, and luckily this government came forward. But just a small lacuna of leaving out BC women. Otherwise, this bill is exceptionally done, very well done, particularly the 15-year reservation that is given to a constituency, and the provision that until and unless next delimitation, the constituency will be held by women. Those are good protections which were lacking in the previous bill.
Kavitha
So well sought after bill, well thought out bill. But yes, OBC is missing is a problem, and not taking other parties into confidence before introducing the bill also is an issue.
Kavitha ji, do I sense in your voice a little bit of what should I say, an emotional cry that your party also is a patriarchal party? Are you saying a difference is created between your brother KTR and yourself, two children of the same big political family of Mr. KCR? Are you saying that?
Not at all, ma'am. My party, like any other party, is a patriarchal party, because this is India. We are a patriarchal society. That is a major issue. And between me and my brother, I am the most pampered one in the house. I am the most one who's listened to. So I have no complaints about it. That's a different story. That being, I've been given an opportunity to run to the office that I requested the party. Party took a decision. They supported me. My brother's request was also supported. So the issue is not a difference between me and my brother, but the issue is of larger sense where women of Telangana, women of India should get political entry. Parties without a bill, without a constitutional protection, will never allow that to do. That we've seen in the last 75 years. So that is why we demanded for the bill, and I'm happy ultimately it became a reality.
Kavitha ji, many people say that, and this has been stated by Rahul Gandhi as well, that you are playing as BJP's Team B simply because you have the liquor scam shadow and the ED summons facing you. How do you respond to that charge?
Well, I believe I want to ask Rahulji two questions. One, after the Bharatiya Janata Party came into power in Haryana, what happened to your brother-in-law Robert Vadra's cases? Why are they not being, properly dealt with or looked into? Do I say that Congress has become BJP's B party, or your Gandhi family has an understanding with Modi ji? Two, Sonia ma'am, Rahul ji, Mallikarjun Kharge ji, Pawan Bansal ji, and a horde of Congress leaders were called in that National Herald case, which was supposedly 5,000 crore scam. What happened to that case? Why is ED not looking at that case? ED is hounding me, isn't it? ED is sending me notice after notice. Why is ED not looking into Rahulji's case? So is Rahulji the B team or a BRS party the B team? Half of our cabinet has been raided. Half of our MLAs have been raided. I am no exemption. I am the party leader's daughter. So it is not about me and the BRS being the B team, but I believe it is a Congress which is a B team of Bharatiya Janata Party.
But he says that Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao's remote control is with the Prime Minister, and that BRS actually stands for BJP Rishtedar Samiti. How do you respond to Rahul Gandhi?
As I said, ma'am, why didn't Rahul Gandhi ji go to Gujarat to campaign for the polls? His Bharat Jodo Yatra goes everywhere except Gujarat. Why does that happen? So where is Rahul Gandhi ji's remote? In Modi ji's hands or in BJP's hands? Because we are frankly speaking and frankly asking these questions. And if he has to show one finger to me, there are 4 fingers showing back to him. He should think about, and in fact he should answer in Telangana, why not even one Congress party leader being raided by ED or questioned by IT? Why is it only BRS leaders who are targeted? So when we talk about excesses of agencies, government using the agencies on the opposition parties, there is no unity. If BRS was in India Alliance, would Rahul ji have said the same thing? So Rahul ji, Congress party should stop being hypocrites, realize that there is no ground left under their feet in any of the states. Whichever states they won very dismally or by default. The Karnataka victory was also a default victory because the BJP government there was rooted in corruption. They won now, but they're not able to perform. Already within a month, the chief minister there is saying that we have no funds to run the state, but they've promised the sun, moon and the earth there. So Congress party should realize that to win an election, they're doing anything, they're saying anything, but then ultimately they're not being credible.
Kavitha ji, is that the reason why you're not part of the Indy bloc, Indy alliance? Because the Congress party, wherever the Congress party is there, the BRS won't be there, because your father went to Bihar, met with Nitish Kumar, Arvind Kejriwal as well as Akhilesh Yadav have come several times to Telangana, stood with the BRS. So what went wrong? Why is the BRS not leading an alliance, and why is there an alliance of the India bloc where all the friends of the BRS have joined, but you're standing alone today?
Ma'am, in this country, if you look at the history, pre-poll alliances have not worked much. Only post-poll alliances have worked, formed governments, etc., and been successful. Two, BRS from the beginning has started saying, took a stand that we are against both these national parties, because both of them had a role in not developing the country to the extent it should have been. Both of these countries, end of the day, lost track of the people but are mostly only political objectives, not people's agenda or people's objective anymore. They do not have people's objective anymore. So that is why we are maintaining distance from both the NDA bloc and the India bloc. In 2018, when our leader, Honorable KCR Garu, went to meet Mamta ji, he has met Nitish ji then also. They spoke about forming a third front at that point of time, federal front. After that, BRS did an introspection. BRS then decided to form a national party. So TRS then became BRS now. So we will work for the nation. We do have a proof of concept. We have the Telangana model where we successfully achieved many things in the last 9.5 years. So we want to showcase an alternate to the people of this nation. So we are neither with INDIA or we are not with the NDA.
But are Nitish Kumar, Mamta Banerjee, Akhilesh Yadav and Arvind Kejriwal still in touch with the BRS? Is there a third front possible? Because a front requires more than one party. Is BRS going to take that lead anytime soon?
BRS right now is focused on Maharashtra, expanding into Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, and we are getting great response from these states. Right now, until we get some clarity on the one nation, one election that this government propagated, that, gave leaks about, they never do anything officially. So there were many leaks saying that there could be a one nation, one election. I think until this parliament session is over, no party in this country has any clue if there will be one nation, one election. I think if that decision comes out, then there will be multiple alliances and change in these so-called big tents, small tents, etc. Ma'am, Navika ji, I also think if there is no one nation, one election, and these 5 states go to election first, which includes our state, and most of the results are going to, be changing the narrative of political narrative of this nation is what I believe post the election of these 5 states.
So what are the chances? Are you saying Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh will go to the Congress party, as will Rajasthan, and Telangana will go to you?
Ma'am, Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, competition between BJP and Congress, as far as I understand, is very tough. It could go either way. Telangana, I can confidently say we are winning hands down. Congress has no role here, no part to play here. So let's see. After the 5 state results, there will be a lot of changes, ma'am. If there is no one nation, one election, I don't even think INDIA alliance will survive post the election of these 5 states.
What do you think will happen? Are these leaders who have earlier been with Mr. KCR Rao, will they come back to him? Are they still in touch with your father, the Chief Minister of Telangana?
Ma'am, everybody is talking to everybody. People in INDA working committee, some people keep giving leaks outside saying that, nothing is working, no seat sharing is being talked about. No proper, many people are unhappy with Congress leading the whole alliance, or official. It's not official. I think, no, I don't know who's leading properly. So somebody say, I think when you look at the INDA alliance, except the name INDIA, nothing else is good about it. There is no agenda for the people. Their only single tagline is that they want to remove the current BJP government and come back to power. But okay, if you remove BJP from power, what will you do to the people? What is your vision for the nation? That they're not, talking about. They're only talking about seat sharing. So, aapas mein lad rahe, they're just fighting or, talking to each other, but they're not even thinking about the people. So that is why when the Women's Reservation Bill was introduced, you saw the sudden knee-jerk reaction from the Congress. Next 2 days, they're constantly tweeting about women's bill, women's reservation, etc. Otherwise, they're not even talking about any issues. They're just saying we need to replace the current government. But whereas parties like BRS, we have a certain vision. Why do we believe that BJP has to go and a neutral force has to come into power? There are certain reasons behind it. What can we do differently? We have a vision. We have an agenda. What is the agenda of INDIA? Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue.
Well, they have an agenda, at least for the media. They have boycotted 14 journalists, 14 anchors. That is definitely an agenda. And you're talking to one of the 14 on that list?
नाचना ना है तो आंगन टेढ़ा है बोलते हैं ना.
कौन सा नाच नहीं आता?
Yes, ma'am. I know. I've seen the list. Person who can't. You are on there. Many other journalists are on there. Yes, we do have objections to certain journalists taking one-sided stories in the national media as well. But yet we have the courage to face them, convince them, put our side of the story, and deal with that. If that is what it takes to be in politics, be bold about it, be courageous. You set your own narrative. But by boycotting the media, by boycotting certain journalists, what are we going to gain out of it? I did not understand. But as I said, ma'am, beyond journalists' troubles, beyond politicians' troubles, people troubles are far more serious, far more grave, far more important. Why did census not happen in this nation? Has Congress party asked in the last 2 years? No. Only when the Women's Bill is introduced, when the rest of the opposition started asking the government that, you did not do the census. So that is why you're delaying the bill. Now Congress party is saying, why did you not do the census? So as a principal opposition party, they failed miserably. And a failed party, which is not even in power in 3 to 4 states, is leading an alliance of 28 parties, out of which half of them don't even have one single MP. Many of them don't even have MLAs. I think 3 or 4 parties are not even recognized. They have just been registered. So what kind of an alliance or what kind of an influential alliance are we talking about? So that is precisely why I said when 5 states elections are done, if there is no joint election, then narrative of this nation will change. And it should change because responsible parties who can lead the people in the right direction should play a major role.
Kavitha ji, we are in the run-up to elections, and therefore, in the run-up to elections, controversies are but natural that they happen. And right now in Telangana, the razakar controversy is playing out. The film that comes out, KTR, your brother and a minister in the government in Telangana, says some intellectually bankrupt jokers of the BJP are doing their best to instigate communal violence and polarization for their political propaganda. Why is this film such a controversial point in the run-up to the elections? And it's just a film. And in the freedom of expression, creativity, why are films now becoming the latest flashpoints in politics?
Ma'am, I believe for the first time, films are becoming a propaganda for the current ruling government. If you remember, it all started from, I think, the Uri film. And then one after the other, the Kashmir files, the Kerala files, and many, many films which are not even named, controversial names, started propagating the ideology of BJP in one way or the other. That many people have noticed. Some people say it openly, some don't say it openly. But this particular movie, Razakar, that my honorable minister has mentioned about, is about a forgotten fact in this state. It is about the integration of our state, which once was an independent, princely dominion, which got merged in the Indian Union in 1948. There has been no controversy around it, but BJP of late in the last 5 years started to make a controversy, saying that it is not an integration day, it is a liberation day, etc. But BRS as a party from 2001 always had this stand, and we always celebrated it as an integration day. So a film is being made to flare up emotions in a state where in the last 10 years, we've controlled it well. There is not even a single incident of communal violence. There is not even a single day of curfew. There is not even a law and order issue of any sorts that you hear across the nation in various states. So in such a peaceful state, which is now able to attract a lot of industries, give about 35 lakh private jobs in these various industries. Ma'am, today out of 2 IT jobs created in this nation, 1 comes from Hyderabad. So we're very proud of the fact that Telangana has prospered. So movies like this can disturb the social fabric here, which is very harmonious right now. And this is promoted by Bharatiya Janata Party, there is no doubt about it, because there was an earlier film which came in, Kashmir Files. So all the Bharatiya Janata Party MPs here took kits and, their karyakartas booked the theatres en masse, took them to watch this particular film. So they're using it as a propaganda material, and this particular film is also one of them. That is for a fact.
Well, let me be the devil's advocate, Kavitha ji. Let me be the devil's advocate. You spoke, you started with the film Uri. The film Uri is a very nationalistic film. It was a commercial film. It was watched by people. It became a mega hit because people liked it. And I didn't see anything wrong. There was no propaganda. It was a film, maybe inspired by real events, but improvised from there. And people enjoyed the film and they watched the film and gave it its thumbs up. So why would you call it a propaganda film? The film Kashmir Files, I've seen it. And if anybody has read the history of Kashmir, I think somewhere or the other it touches a chord. And then again, I'm not the judge, you can't be the judge. It is the people who watch the film who will be the judge whether the film is good, bad, ugly, hit or not a hit. The fact is that these films are bona fide hit films and they have touched a chord of a large mass of people of India. Why has politics begun to target films as propaganda or otherwise? That's my question.
Ma'am, in fact, it's the other way around. It is the Bharatiya Janata Party which had earlier started utilizing social media for its propaganda. Then they, graduated to utilizing films as their propaganda. So that is why we're talking about certain films. Other than that, we do not want to talk about the films or the film industry because they're independent, creative people. They do whatever people like, they watch. What they watch it becomes a hit, otherwise it just bombs at the box office. Simple as that. But certain films with certain concepts, driven to be drilled into people's mind, to create disturbances, to create distances between the hearts of the people, that should be objectionable. Art format has to be liberal, independent, but if it is influenced by a certain ideology or a political party, it is bound to create certain disturbances, and that we have seen as a trend. So I'm just talking about a political trend here which the Bharatiya Janata Party has started. Nothing more, nothing less. That's all.
But Kavitha ji,
as you rightly said,
Kavitha ji, today
like it,
every political party.
Yes,
no. Let me ask you.
Kashmir Files bombed.
Kashmir.
Yes.
No, every political party today uses social media. It is an important platform for everybody to know what is happening in different parts of the country. It gives freedom to individuals. Yes, there can be some restraint, but social media as a tool for dissemination of information, you're saying that the BJP started it? Well, every political party is doing it today. If films has become the new medium, who stops you? Who stops your party to have films of that kind which probably revisit the past, create a story around it, give it to the audiences? Ultimately, the audiences will judge. क्या ठीक है, क्या नहीं है, क्या popular है, क्या नहीं है.
No, I'm not objecting, ma'am, to using social media or to making films. I'm just saying Bharatiya Janata Party is the Vishwaguru of using internet and social media. They are the ones who created, an army within their party and effectively utilized it. I'm not saying it's good, bad or whatever. That as a poll strategy, as an electoral management strategy, it worked very well for them. And yes, you are very right. After that, every party started doing it. Congress party now hired a strategist to do it, and certain other parties, we are a party driven by cadre, so all of our cadre are now taking to social media to propagate what good things we have done from our party, our leader, etc. That's a good propaganda mechanism. Social media is very good. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying how effectively BJP used it. Now they've graduated to using films. You're very right. BRS can also make films. Congress can also make films. That is not the issue here. Issue here is who initiated it, who started it. Because you asked about razakar, this whole topic came up. But yes, any film, razakar or any film, if it doesn't strike the chord with the people, it won't matter. But this particular film, let us see how it fares with the people. When people looked at the trailer, many people objected to it. That is why government had to intervene and say that if it is not, objectionable to certain people, then we as a government should think what it should be done. But nothing else has happened after that. The trailer is released. I think I don't know when the movie is getting released. So we'll see.
Any plans to ban the film?
into the people, then we can think about it.
Bans are also these days very much in fashion. Any plans
I
to
don't
ban
think it's
the
in
film?
our hands. Not at all, ma'am. We will talk to the censor board. Let us see what the censor board says, and then we can think about the rest.
No, but in the past, I think some state, I think the state of Tamil Nadu used a very interesting way of not allowing the film to be screened by saying that it will create law and order problems, and law and order is a state subject, so we cannot allow the screening of the film. We have not banned the film. So anything out of the box that your government is thinking?
Nothing so serious on this particular movie as of now, ma'am. Nothing, no discussion at all.
Let me ask you about another controversy, and that is the name of Hyderabad. The BJP and especially during the Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation elections, the BJP and Yogi Adityanath, UP Chief Minister, had specifically in one of his rallies said that Hyderabad should be renamed as Bhagyanagar. Where do you stand on this idea?
We all, just like ma'am, India and Bharat, both names exist already. Many people, when they write in Telugu, when poets describe Hyderabad, when people talk about how Bhagyanagar is love between a Hindu prince and a Hindu girl, etc., they still talk about Bagmati Nagar, Bhagyanagar, their love story, etc. So that was the old name. Then, of course, new name came in Hyderabad. That is also 400 years old. It is not very new. So people of Hyderabad are used to both the names. Nothing is there in the name. And there is nothing important about it. If somebody wants a name change, they want to make it a topic of politics, that they can talk about it. But then I think naam mein kya hai, kaam mein hai, kaam karke dikhao, naam badal ke kya farak padega.
Well said, but let me also ask you, where do you stand on the Sanatan Dharma controversy, which began from Tamil Nadu and has grown across various states, various political parties which are part of the India Alliance? Where do you stand on the statements that have been made by ministers in the Tamil Nadu government?
Ma'am, Sanatan Dharma is not in danger, first of all, because people like me who are very religious and ardent followers of the Hindu religion, we believe until people like us exist, Sanatan Dharma is not going to go anywhere. Having said that, yes, in any religion, there have been certain section of people who've been ignored, who are hurt, who feel left out of the society, for whom affirmative action has to be taken to be included in the mainstream of the society, and dignity and respect has to be restored. That is a very proper issue of governance. It is not an issue of flaring up emotions like what Honorable Minister in Tamil Nadu tried to do. People only blame the other party, Bharatiya Janata Party, to flare up emotions about Hinduism. But I believe the comments on Sanatan Dharma, the other party also was trying to do the same to gain their ground, or maybe, to divert attention from any other issues in their state, because those statements did not really vibe well with me. But we as a state never went into the details of dharma of anybody, because we believe it is a very personal thing. And as a state government, we celebrate Ramzan, we celebrate Christmas, we celebrate Batukamma, which is a Hindu festival. So we celebrate all the religions here in Hyderabad and Telangana. That is why in the last 10 years, there is not even a single communal issue here in Hyderabad, and we will make sure there is none in the future also.
Kavitha ji, but these ministers have said that Hinduism should be eradicated. It's been echoed by some leaders of the Samajwadi Party. It's also been echoed by leaders of other parties in the India Alliance. Do you think that the cloak of secularism that the India Alliance wears has to be questioned when they make statements of this kind?
Well, they should. And if you have noticed, ma'am, nobody in INDA Alliance has commented on those statements. As I said, it is not only BJP which tries to flare up the issues, it is also the other side which does that. And we are seeing that. But then INDA Alliance has distanced and nobody supported these statements, is what it felt like, until today. That is what at least I have noticed. And as I said, once again, state and religion have to be separate, and that is what BRS believes.